Hello everybody, Joe Clone here, back again with another LEGO Marvel video. Today's video will be Joe Clone's LEGO Avengers Roster Update Review video. Boom. Can't believe I said it right, first try. But yeah, that's what today's going to be, guys. A while back, sort of in like the middle of my hardcore LEGO Marvel collecting over the past like 3 or 4 months, sort of in the middle of that, I did a Avengers video because I read the Marvel comics. I'm currently reading them again right now, and I'm at the Infinity storyline in the Marvel comics. And if you know the comics, in the Infinity storyline, the Avengers roster is massive. I think there's 18 members. I might be wrong about that. They add a couple of other ones during that. But it's a big team. It's my favorite team ever from the comics, and I really try to not emulate. I emulate it with the size of my personal LEGO Avengers, but really with my LEGO Avengers, it's making my dream Avengers team. Just putting like all of my favorite Avengers ever in one roster. That's basically what I'm trying to do in LEGO, and it obviously is changing because through collecting I get new heroes, and yeah, new faces want to join the team. Some faces leave, but once you're an Avenger forever. But yeah, so how this is really going to go is I'm going to first just give you a nice little spin around of who was already on the team. Then I'm going to give you a nice little spin around of who was already on the team but looks different, who has a different outfit. Then finally we will go to the new members. And before I get into it, here's just a nice pan over all of these badass Avengers here. So cool. It's truly a dream, but let's get into it. And of course, as I always do in LEGO Marvel minifigure reviews, we will begin with Cap. Now, again, all of the figures I'm about to review right now have remained on the team and look exactly the same as they did from my first LEGO Avengers video. The only thing really different about Cap is he's wielding a Mjolnir, but other than that, he is exactly the same and still the GOAT. Next up is Hawkeye, and this is really my custom one, but again, he's just wearing a mask, and that is the only thing really custom about him, and he looks exactly the same from the last video. We have Shang-Chi. Hank McCoy, or I should say Dr. Hank McCoy, Beast. Up next, we have the original LEGO Captain Marvel. And yes, this was the first Captain Marvel minifigure that LEGO ever made, and I think it is the best one they have ever made. The suit literally looks like how she looks in the Infinity storyline from the comics. Next, Custom Black Knight. Up next, in my opinion, the best LEGO Marvel minifigure currently, Moon Knight. And when I mean the best, like, are you kidding me? It's insane. Miles Morales. Oh yeah. custom by me, one of my best ever, Sunspot. Oh yes. One of my favorite Avengers on the Infinity storyline Avengers roster. Him and Cannonball. Might have just spoiled there, but that's Sunspot. And the Falcon. This figure, in my opinion, is the best Sam Wilson Falcon minifigure we have ever gotten. I don't know why I said "and" when I was announcing the Falcon, because the biggest members of my Avengers roster are also unchanged since my last video. Here we have Hulkbuster Bruce Banner. I just love the alliteration there on that title. But it is Hulkbuster Bruce Banner. As you can see, we have Banner in there, and I just gave him, I guess he's a little bit different looking from the last review. I gave him this suit from one of the old Atlantis themes because he wears like similar suits like this in the comics when he's in Banner form, hanging around with the Avengers. So I just think that looks cool, and I just gave him this hair because I think it just looks better for Banner, but I really like him in the suit, but he's really unchanged. And the Hulkbuster is the one from 2018. It's the first Infinity War based Hulkbuster. It's my favorite. I have a full review on it on this channel out right now. So if you want a really in-depth review on this Hulkbuster, you could get it in that video. But it's just really cool. It's just my favorite detail-wise, looking-wise. Just in my opinion, the best Hulkbuster because the look, it just is. But that is Hulkbuster Bruce Banner. Let's move on to the next. I'm going to be quick with this one because I always have to explain the lore that I've given him, but this is Protector. Yes, Protector. No other titles to that name. He comes from the Shang-Chi and the Great Protector polybag, which is my favorite polybag of all time from LEGO because this build is amazing. Some people say that this Great Protector has more or better articulation than the big set Great Protector, but since he's tiny, I use him as scale because, as you can see with a minifigure, he's still big, but not as big as the adult Great Protector. I just see him as the Great Protector's son, so I just call him Protector. And he's just so cool. I love him. He's awesome for mock battles and stuff, the articulation and everything. He's just such a cool build. It really is my favorite polybag of all time. And I love that Protector is just on my Avengers team as an Avenger in LEGO. So cool. If you want a full in-depth review on him, there's also a video for him as well. So go check that out. But moving on to the next. And easily one of my favorite LEGO Marvel figures, because he's not a minifigure, but easily one of my favorite LEGO Marvel figures. We have Scott Lang, Giant Man. This is from the 2016 Airport Battle set. This is the greatest buildable big fig LEGO has ever made, although there might be a new contender because Surtur is releasing in days, and he looks awesome in that set. But this Giant Man big buildable big fig is just immaculate. It's literally perfect. Every time I review it, I say it, but it's literally the perfect scaling for like a minifigure, just in bigger proportions. Like, he looks like a minifigure, just bigger. Am I right, guys? It's just so cool. And I love him. I love that he's on my Avengers roster. And I feel like for Ant-Man, Giant Man just works so much better in LEGO. Like, this just is so much cooler than the little mini doll, I hate the little micro figures, but I love this Giant Man. He's my favorite buildable big fig ever in LEGO, and yeah, moving on. Okay, up next we have more of Marvel heroes that were Avengers in my original Avengers review video, but they look very different from that first video, so we're just gonna break down the new look. We're gonna gonna start with Iron Man first. I have him in the nano suit for this video today. In the last video I had him in the bone suit, so I just wanted him in a more traditional movie suit for this video today. But yeah, that's why he looks different. The printing on this suit is fantastic. It's a newer figure, so it should be fantastic, but yeah, awesome. Next we have War Machine, which the figure is the same, but as you can see, I have upgraded his suit by giving him hand machine gun double barrel gauntlets right here, like he has in the movies and comics, a Star-Lord space blaster right here, the minigun as always, and a missile launcher bay right here. I've done a sort of in-depth review on all of these upgrades in my entire Marvel minifigure collection update review video, so if you want to see that, go check it out, but we're just going to do a nice 360 here, and he just looks so badass. Rocket, still here, baby. Oh yeah, the Guardians don't need him back yet. Everything's all good. Got Gladiator and Beta Ray Bill and Ronan protecting space up there with them. But Rocket, the only thing different about him is he's in his traditional comic book accurate Guardian suit, and I've done a full review on all of my Guardians in their new suits already, but every time I see them like this in their new suits all together, they just look so good. Only thing really different is I gave him black boots, because in the comics his feet are really drawn like as him wearing black boots, or his feet are black in the comics. I don't know, but I just gave him black boots. But that's Rocket. Obviously Peter Parker Spider-Man is still here, but I had him wearing the integrated suit last time. Today he's wearing the first Stark build suit from the movies, and this is just a great minifigure. The printing is just so nice on it. Let me zoom in for you a little bit more. Sorry about that, but the printing's just so nice on it, and the arm printing, fantastic. It's just fantastic. It's like Stark techie, but still just looks like a traditional Spider-Man suit, and I think that's why the first Tom Holland movie suit was just so good and so iconic. But what's cool about Tom Holland's Spider-Man is when he's wearing this suit, it could be upgraded to Tom Holland's Iron Spider suit from the movies, which is just so badass. I know he's been popping up everywhere on my channel recently, but this figure is just so cool, and the fact that technically he's on my LEGO Avengers is just even more cool, and such a great figure, such an iconic Spider-Man suit. Just in general, and yeah, that's Peter Parker Spider-Man. God of Thunder, Thor. Thor looks drastically different from last time we saw him. He's wearing a more comic book accurate torso, and honestly, I really think this is the best comic book accurate Thor torso. It just, in my opinion, just looks the best. It's my favorite. I love the little red of the cape up top there. The print is literally fantastic. There's still some blue in there within the silver, and the texture, the details, the lines. Look at that. So good. People ripped this figure when it first came out. I have no idea why. I love this shiny silver arms. I like the two-hold cloth cape. I hate the one-hold ones now. He still has the same legs from his Love and Thunder blue suit. I just like how they look, and I want the printing, and yeah, other than that, Thor is the same. Weapons-wise, I meant, still wielding Stormbreaker and Mjolnir, but he just looks so much more badass, in my opinion, from last time we saw him, but that is Thor. My last Avenger rocking a new look today is T'Challa, Black Panther himself. I just love seeing this suit with all my Avengers. It just gives me such comic book vibes. Sorry about that, but because this is literally how he looks in the comics. Like, most of the time, this suit was excellent. It was really based off the game, but I just think it's an excellent comic book Black Panther suit. I added the capes, which just makes it look that much more comic book accurate. I love the different texture of the capes there too, so cool. This is just such a cool minifigure, one of my favorite Marvel minifigures that I own, but that's Black Panther. Now we move on to the newly joined Avengers. The first newly joined Avenger, introducing Cannonball. Oh, yes. And how great does he look like this right now? Look up Cannonball from the comics. It literally looks like exactly how he's drawn in the comics, almost. I think he looks really good. It's like he rocketed right out of the pages, but let's review him. Now, I've reviewed Sam the Man here before in my entire LEGO Marvel minifigure update video, but I have never reviewed him or even put him on my Avengers team yet, and today he is, because Cannonball and Sunspot are like some of my favorite X-Men ever because they double as Avengers, and they are Avengers in the Infinity storyline comics, and they are literally so good as Avengers. Cannonball, Sunspot, and Smasher are one of my favorite trios in Marvel. I love them as Avengers, and I love that I have Cannonball in LEGO in his Avengers yellow suit. I love Cannonball and Sunspot's yellow Avengers suits. That's why I made them here. I really just used a Trickster torso and just blacked out the Trickster logo to give Cannonball here his iconic just black ball symbol. That's what it is in the comics. It's so cool. And I just love how this looks, because his suit is yellow, black, and blue, the one I'm really basing this off of, and we get yellow, black, and blue here. And I just love the utility belt prints. So cool. And for the head, I actually used Pod Racer Anakin's head because Cannonball wears goggles on his face when he's flying around. And I just think the face looks perfect with that blonde hair. It's literally an almost perfect Cannonball minifigure. Cannonball in his Avengers suit, at least. But I'm so happy with how this guy turned out. And I love that I get to have him and Sunspot in LEGO. But that is Cannonball. Let's move on to the next newly joined Avenger. Our next two newly joined Avengers, two Joe Clones personal LEGO Avengers roster, are Sentry and Ares. Now, I've done minifigure reviews on both of these figures very, very recently, and I don't know if I said it in those reviews, I've said it in a video before, but Sentry and Ares are, I almost see them as boys, because they sort of are in the comics, because they are the only two who go from actual Avengers to Dark Avengers, led by Norman Osborn in the comics. So that's why I've always seen them as boys. I've always wanted them in LEGO form on my Avengers team, and guess what? I have them as that. It's a reality, and I can't believe it. But I'm going to give you a little quick review on both of them. And this is Ares. How cool is that torso print? Because in the comics, he actually has a skull and crossbones on his armor. And here we have a Lego skull. It almost reminds me of like Drax's tattoos. Such a cool print. I actually use official Prince of Persia legs just because I like adding some official Lego parts to some of these custom minifigures. And it just looks great on him. Like, it really does. It works with the torso printing. That torso printing is fantastic. The arm printing is literally so cool. The back print is simple, but it's good. And the other arm is fantastic. I gave him a custom brick-built axe, but I really tried to emulate how it looks sometimes in the comics, and I think it looks really good. The face is just a Loki Lex Luthor face. I think it's the best option for Ares. And the helmet is fantastic. It's what makes the figure. It's beautiful. But that is Ares. So cool. Moving on to the Sentry. Robert Reynolds himself, the Sentry. I might be wrong. It might be 10 million, but he's one of the most powerful Marvel characters of all time. Has the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns. Yes, you heard that right. And he has an alter ego known as the Void, which is power left unchecked could be unstoppable. Such a cool character in the comics. Like, such a cool character in the comics. I can't wait to see him in the movies. It's rumored he's going to show up in the new Thunderbolts movie coming out. So cool. The figure is literally perfect. I just use a Icarus head. Sorry about that. This is a non-official hairpiece, so it's kind of hard to get the face off sometimes, but I use the Icarus face because I think it looks great for Robert Reynolds' Sentry, and I wanted it so I could have a double-sided face so I could put a sort of red eyes void or just rage mode that the Sentry has, and I just think it looks so good. Again, this is just such a cool custom minifigure, and I only really buy customs that are non-official Legos of characters that Lego is either not going to make for a long time or never make at all. And I think all of the customs I've bought are entirely worth it, and I encourage you to buy them if you're thinking about it. But that is it for today, folks. That is Joe Clone's updated Avengers roster. Let's move to a final lineup. And I totally forgot, but usually for these Avengers roster review videos, I circle them up. Oh my I try to circle up as many of them as I could. It's hard to do with the flyers, but I'm gonna give you a nice little low angle for this circle. It's just really mostly, I mean, most of these guys look a little different than they did in the last video, so just a nice different look from the circle there. Added Ares, so cool. He just looks great charging with everyone, right? But let's get another angle. Also got one for the flyers here. I'm gonna do these better in the future, so I'm sorry, but it's still just so cool. Like, look at them all just circled up. So cool. It's awesome. Now let's go to a final lineup. And there they are. This was Joe Clone's personal LEGO Marvel Avengers roster update review video. Wow, that took me a couple of takes, I'm not gonna lie. But just to give you one last final zoom and pan here. Just so cool that, I say it every time, it's a dream that I get to put together literally my personal own, like, dream team of Avengers in LEGO, and just to have these figures in LEGO, I'm just so grateful, so happy. It's truly just awesome. Really is. But as you know, just a simple man trying to make my way in the universe, and I thank you for joining me on the journey. That is a review. I will see you in the next one, and peace.